more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to The Show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. First episode of 2021. After a wild 2020, I got a great show for you today. I got 2 words for you that I want you to be your centerpiece in 2021, because there is a lot of stuff going on that is going to distract you, that's going to take your attention away. And if you're here right now, I already know that you're a high performer. Everything that I do and everything that I'm about is about winning this game that we're all playing. And you might not think that you're playing it. If you're here, you probably have already come to the conclusion that you are playing it. But there's a lot of fucking people out there that's sitting in the stands as spectators, not knowing that there's even a game going on. The game that I'm talking about is life. And it's an interesting game because you don't wake up one day and feel like you've won. Because even if you have a goal and you hit it and you've reached it, you go to bed, you put your head on that pillow, maybe you've celebrated a little bit, and then you wake up and the sun comes back up. And it's a new day. So the only way that we truly know if we win this game is at the end of our life, when we take that last breath. In between that, there's this sense of winningness, or there's this sense of losingness, or there's this sense of stagnancy. And if you're a high performer, which you are because you're listening to me right now, stagnancy and the feeling of losing is detrimental to your well-being. It's depressing. It's frustrating. If you're here, it's likely that you're a driver. It's likely that there's something inside of you. There's this spark that you know that you're capable of more. And there's this something that makes you feel fucking alive when you're chasing it down. Alive. And that's that feeling of winningness. It's that feeling of progress. It's that feeling of progression. To me, that's what I'm chasing. I've had a lot of conversations in the past week about, call it philosophy, call it spirituality, call it whatever you want to call it, the meaning of life. And in my program, or my company, Athletic and Fit, it's a consulting company where we have men and women from all over the United States who come into our world through this lens of fitness, just wanting to look or feel better, maybe get healthy, but it's in this fitness lens. And then they get into our world and we talk a lot about all the stuff that I talk about on this podcast, this mindset, this being, this winningness. And so they come in maybe trying to change their physique or perform a little bit better if they're into sports, or like I said, just get healthy. And then bam, we take them down this road. And eventually, if they're with us long enough, and if they put their effort in and do what we tell them to do, all their fitness dreams come true. It's literally inevitable if they just do what we say to do. We're one of the best in the world at influencing a person's behavior and helping them make that behavior automatic. And once you do that, and you understand at this high level what it takes to actually hit the goals that you have, like I said, the rest is inevitable. But there's always this point when I'm taking someone down that road where they start to realize they're getting close. They're like, whoa, I came in here for the 6-pack, but now I have it. Now what? Or they're highly driven business people, and I start asking them questions they might not have asked themselves before. And a lot of times, because I've been there, you start chasing down goals because you are this high achiever. And then at some point, hopefully, you understand that it's not about the goal. Whether the goal is to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, like I said, if you hit it and you flip open your computer and you see those numbers and you're proud of yourself and you celebrate and you do whatever you're going to do, at some point you go to sleep that night and you wake up, or it's a new year and you flip the calendar and then it's like, okay, now what? Now I just have another goal. And for some of you, you might be driving down the road and you're like, fuck, man, That's depressing. What's the difference of me and a hamster on the wheel? I'm just going to keep on grinding and grinding and grinding. And what's it all for? Like, why am I trying this hard? Because at the end of the day, if we're all going to die, what the fuck is it for? And so these are the conversations that I've literally been having. And I've had these multiple times with myself. And I don't have the answer. I have my own answer. And maybe, hopefully, in this podcast, I can help guide you to your own answer. But the point is this. If we're in the rocking chair at 90 years old, and we're sitting there, and we can't move like we used to be able to move, and we're sitting out on that front porch, and we have these flashes of our memories that we've been through in our lives, the only time we're going to feel like we've won or lost, or we're going to live in this state of regret or pride, or this feeling of fulfillment for what we've done in our lives, the only moment that it really truly matters, or that we're really going to know, is that last moment, is that last breath. And then we're going to be met with either a lot of regret or a lot of fulfillment. And so on one hand, you can sit back and think, well, why try so hard then? Like, what does it really matter what my body looks like? What does it really matter if I'm really fit or just kind of fit? What does it really matter if I make 100K a year or 1 million or shoot for 100 million or 1 billion? Like, what's the difference? If we're all going to end up in the same place, what the fuck's the difference, John? And I remember thinking that, and it almost takes you down this, well, I don't really care then, I just want to be happy. I just want to be fulfilled. Because isn't that what you want right now? Aren't you thinking like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be fulfilled. I just want to feel free. I just want to feel peace. We're all chasing something. Some of us think we're chasing money. Some of us think we're chasing the six pack, but it's not even those two things. It's chasing the feeling that we think we're going to have when we get them. And my answer, on the contrary, is, well, why not? If we're all going to end up in the same place and we're experiencing this life now, and this is our life, and we can create whatever we want from it, why not taste and feel and see and hear all the great things, everything you've ever dreamed of? Why not go down that path? Because regardless if we're going to end up at the same place and one road takes more effort, I would rather taste and feel and see and hear beyond my wildest imagination, to know what it was like and to see what I was capable of, and to live a life that was not monotonous, that was adventurous, that was uncertain. Because if we all knew how it was going to end up, what would be the point? We're just on this one-track road to the end. And so you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it like, well, what's the point of me trying harder and putting effort in if at the end of the day it doesn't really matter? And then other people is like, I want legacy. I want my kids to have money, and I want their kids' to have money, and I want to build something so magnificent that they're all taken care of. But here's the point too. And some of my richest friends tell me this. They're like, look, it's not about that either. Yeah, we want to provide a great life and provide this path. However, nobody is fulfilled with handouts. Nobody is fulfilled with handouts. Your kids are not fulfilled by handouts. So this thought that you got to create to give to your kids, like you're literally robbing them of the experience of that creation, of putting their ass on fire to get something that they really want. So it's not even about the money. Some people chase the money thinking that's going to be the case, and then they have kids that don't even give a fuck. They've already had everything. So what's next for them? You see, there is no answer here, but this is the whole point of introspection and looking within and trying to find the answers and getting quiet and sit with this and meditate with it. and try to understand, like, what game are you fucking playing? What really matters to you? Because if you don't ever know you're going to reach the end, and you would have never known, right? And so I wanted to start this year with kind of this conversation, because it's been weighing on my mind, because as a consultant in this mindset realm, I have clients that sometimes I have to take them to the 6-pack for them to realize that it was never about the 6-pack. Or sometimes I have to take this business owner who thinks like, John, if I could just build what you've built, if I could build the 7-figure business, I'm going to be so happy and fulfilled. No, you won't. No, you won't. The whole point is the journey. The whole point is every step of the way, I have to overcome limiting beliefs. I have to overcome obstacles. I have to go through all the stuff so that I can grow, so that I can feel that progression, so that I can build myself up and build that confidence and build that certainty and build that message. Because it's not about the outcome. It's about waking up every single day fulfilled, and the effort that it takes to achieve and be fulfilled at the same time. Because if you just achieve without fulfillment, that's a recipe for disaster. People will get into trouble there. But if you go down this journey and you want to achieve and you want to win and you want to be the best that you can be and you want to self-actualize, if you want all those things and you know that it's not about the thing at the end, it's about the journey to it, and you can take moments and appreciate and be fulfilled and be mindful and sit still, you're not going to wear yourself out. You're going to appreciate the moments. You're going to appreciate the walks. You're going to appreciate the sunsets. You're not going to work from 6 a.m. to 12 at night. You're going to be able to do it with this effortless flow. And that's what I'm chasing. And possibly because I'm chasing that might mean that I'm not going to have the biggest house on the block. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But there's some people that are willing to trade their life for work. There's some people that are willing to trade their life for work. There's some people who are willing to trade their life for work. I said that 3 times because it's not about the amount of hours that you work. In fact, I can work less and make more. Now, can I be the richest person in the world? Can I out-earn Elon Musk's? I don't know. Probably not, right? But I'm not chasing that. I know what I'm chasing. I'm chasing peace. I'm chasing freedom. I'm feeling that every single day. I can choose my hours and be home when my daughter gets from school, or even better yet, go grab her from school. And that might mean that I only work 5 hours a day instead of 12. But maybe you're tapping into this podcast right now and you're thinking that I'm going to motivate you with this hustle and grind, and you got to fucking get up at 4 a.m. and you got to go to sleep at 2 a.m. and you're not working hard enough. And maybe you're not. There's a whole lot of people that could put a lot more effort in, but there's a whole lot of people that could work a lot smarter too. There is no right answer. You don't have to get up at 4 a.m. You don't have to get up at 10 a.m. either. You got to do what feels good to you. But if your expectations outweigh your work ethic, you're going to have problems. One of my greatest mentors, Urban Meyer, says if your want ethic is greater than your work ethic, that's entitlement. So you can't want something if you're not willing to do what it takes. And sometimes it just takes what it takes. But sometimes, if you're smart enough, and if you've contemplated this enough, you understand what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And you understand what you're really in it for. Because it's not just about the achievement, it's about the fulfillment at the same time. And if that means that you only make 40 million instead of 50 million, so be it. So be it. But you have to you have to ask yourself those questions. You have to come up with the answers yourself. So as we go into 2021, there's a lot of shit going on right now. We thought that we were celebrating the end of 2020. And then 2021 first week comes up and we're just like, what the fuck? Right? Like when's this joke going to end? So I was walking into my office that shared my podcast studio, and there's this shared bathroom, common area. These are all private offices. And there was a new guy, and the new guy and I was washing our hands at the same time. And he looks over and he says, Happy New Year. And I say, Happy New Year, man. And the next thing that came out of his mouth was, hopefully this year is going to be better than last year, huh? And you guys might not think anything of it. That's just small talk. That's just small talk. But small talk comes from a place, and that place is unconscious. So what comes out, it lives somewhere. It lives somewhere. And that's going to dictate behaviors and ultimately outcomes. So I listen. I listen. I hear stuff like it's the Matrix. And so I come back into the office and I think to myself, hopefully 2021 will be better than 2020. Well, what is that presupposing? It's presupposing that 2020 was bad for everybody. And of course, there was some wild stuff that happened. But if you asked me personally what 2020 was, I would say one of the best years of my whole entire life. And I know a lot of people who would say that too. So 2020 wasn't terrible for everybody. Obviously, we don't want to be living in this whatever the hell's going on. However, personally, my family was better. We woke up in a different state. We have a beautiful home. We got 2 brand new cars in the driveway. We checked off stuff on our vision board. Ton of stuff happened. My business exploded like 6x. So hopefully this year will be better than last. And I didn't say anything, right? I'm not going to coach someone on the spot, but I want you guys to understand that hoping and creating are 2 different fucking things. You can hope all you want because you add a 1 at the end of the year instead of a 0, that it's somehow magically going to be better. Or if you turn the page to your calendar or journal and you rip, the last month out and it's a new year, or you get a brand new journal and this one's the 2021 version and you're just like, hopefully it's going to be better. You're in for a long year. You're in for a really, really, really long year. Because the people who are true high performers understand that it's not about hoping. It's not about anything other than creating. It's about focus. It's about perception. Those are your words. Wayne Dyer said it best. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So the lens that you're viewing the world in is your reality. The lens that I'm viewing the world in is my reality. What I perceive becomes reality. What I focus on becomes my reality. That is the feedback loop. It's not the other way around. It's not that the things are making you perceive what you perceive. You can live like that and you're going to be reactionary, while the few who have figured out this secret that you might just be driving or running or working out and it might miss you unless you really pay attention right now. The ones who really win create. They choose their perception. They choose the way they look at things. They focus on what they want instead of what they don't want. And they focus relentlessly. And that feedback loop then projects out to their reality, and it's positive. The other way is negative. Something happens, it's negative, your perception is negative, you believe that everything is negative, you believe that the world is cruel, you believe that nobody has money, you believe that you were meant to be poor, you believe all this shit, and what are you going to see? You're going to see exactly what you perceive. We are creators. Some of us are creators. Some of us are consumers. I'm not going to hope for 2021 to be better. I'm going to create the best fucking year that I've ever had. And if that's what you want, I want you to tell me about it. Screenshot this episode. Send me a message post it on Instagram, John Madsen Official. I want to hear it. Because if you're anything like me, there is no chance.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, If you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is the show.